I'm 83 and I heard the truth too late to answer. I don't know how to start this. I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes just looking at this little camera, trying to figure out what to say first. My daughter set this up for me. She said, "Dad, just talk." So that's what I'm going to do. Just talk. My name is Harold Eugene Marsh. I'm 83 years old, and I live alone now in the same house I've lived in for 51 years. The house is very quiet these days. It wasn't always. I'm not recording this because I have something important to teach anyone. I want to be clear about that. I'm recording this because my doctor told me 3 months ago that my heart is doing something it shouldn't be doing, and he used words I had to ask him to repeat twice. And on the drive home that afternoon, I kept thinking about something. Not about dying, exactly. More about a specific moment. A moment I didn't handle right. A moment I can't go back to. That's what this is about, really. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. Millbury, population maybe 2,000 when I was a boy. My father worked at a glass factory. My mother kept the house and raised 4 children, and she did both of those things without anyone ever really noticing how hard she was working. That was just how it was. Nobody said thank you. You just did what was in front of you. I learned that early. You do what's in front of you. You don't complain. You don't stop to examine things. You keep moving. Because stopping feels dangerous somehow, like if you slow down, something might catch up to you. I carried that with me my whole life. Straight through school, into the Navy, out of the Navy, into 34 years working in logistics for a paper company in Toledo. Straight through a marriage that lasted 47 years. Straight through raising 2 children. Straight through all of it. I was always moving. I was always doing what was in front of me. And I thought that was right. I genuinely thought that was the correct way to live. My wife's name was Ruth Evelyn Marsh, née Pat. She passed 6 years ago, in this house, in the bedroom down the hall. She was 79. Pancreatic cancer. From diagnosis to the end, it was 11 weeks. 11 weeks is not very long. But I'll tell you something. In those 11 weeks, Ruth said more true things to me than she had in perhaps the last 20 years of our marriage. Not because she was angry. Not because she was trying to hurt. I think she just finally felt that time had gotten short enough that there was no reason anymore to soften things. One afternoon, I was sitting beside her bed. She was having a good day, one of the last real good days. The light was coming in through the curtains the way it does in October, that low, gold kind of light. And she looked at me for a long moment, the way she used to look at me when we were young. And she said something. She said, "Harold, did you ever feel like you were really here, with me, in any of it?" I didn't answer her right away. I said something. I said something like, "Of course I did, Ruthie. Of course I was here." But she just nodded slowly, and she turned her head toward the window. And the thing I've never been able to let go of is this. I'm not sure she believed me. I'm not sure I believed myself. We met in the summer of 1963. I was 20 at the time. She was 18. She was wearing a yellow dress at a church social, and she was laughing at something her friend had said. And that laugh just stopped me cold. I had never heard anyone laugh like that. Like they meant it completely. Like there was nothing held back. I was awkward around her for most of that first year. I didn't know how to talk to someone who was that open. I had been raised in a house where you didn't say too much, where feelings were things you managed privately. And here was this woman who just felt everything right out in the open, and I didn't know what to do with that. I think I spent the first decade of our marriage quietly waiting for her to become more like me. She never did. She never changed that way. She stayed open. And I realize now, sitting here in this quiet house, that I spent a long time treating that openness like it was something that needed to be managed. Something a little excessive. Something that would embarrass me if she did it in the wrong company. I don't say that to punish myself. I say it because it's true, and because I think I need to finally say it out loud before I can't anymore. We had 2 children. A son, David, and a daughter, Carol. David lives in Seattle now. We talk on the phone every few weeks. He's careful with me. Polite, asks about the house, asks about my health, says the right things. There is nothing wrong with my son. He just grew up watching me. And I think he learned to do what I did. Keep moving. Don't stop. Carol is different. Carol is more like her mother. She calls me too often. Probably. She says things I don't always know how to respond to. She came and stayed with me for 2 weeks after I got the news about my heart. And on one of those evenings, she said, "Dad, do you feel like we know you? Really know you?" And I said, "I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know if I ever let anyone." She cried. I held her, and I didn't cry, which is its own kind of answer, I suppose. There was a night, this was maybe 1987 or 88. David would have been about 12. Carol 9 or 10. I had come home late from work. There had been some crisis at the warehouse, I don't even remember what it was now. And Ruth had kept dinner warm for me. And the kids were still up, and David wanted to show me something he'd built. Some model airplane, I think. And I remember I sat down at the kitchen table and I ate, and I said something like, "That's great, bud. Show me tomorrow." And tomorrow came and went. And I don't think I ever looked at that airplane. That's not a dramatic story. That's just a Tuesday. That's just a regular Tuesday in a regular life. But there are so many Tuesdays like that one. So many small moments where something was being offered to me, and I just didn't reach for it. Not because I was a bad man. I don't think I was a bad man. I worked hard. I provided. I didn't drink, didn't run around, didn't do the things that make a man obviously bad. I just wasn't fully there. And the terrible thing about not being fully there is that it doesn't look like anything from the outside. The family still happens around you. The dinners still get eaten. The holidays still come and go. No one can point to the thing that was missing, because there's nothing you can point to. It's an absence. And absences don't make noise. Ruth used to read in bed every night before she slept. She'd been doing it since before I knew her, and she kept doing it our entire marriage. Every night, without fail, she'd have a book on her side of the bed. I used to fall asleep before she did, almost always, because I was tired from working, and because I told myself that meant I was doing things right. But I remember, sometimes, waking up in the middle of the night, and the lamp was still on, and she'd fallen asleep with the book open on her chest. And I'd reach over and take the book and fold down the page and set it on the nightstand and turn off the lamp. And that was tender. That was genuinely tender. I know it was. But I've been thinking about how many nights I just fell asleep without looking over at all. How many pages she folded down herself because I wasn't awake to do it. Such a small thing. Such an impossibly small thing. And I don't know why it keeps coming back to me now. Maybe because it's the kind of love that requires you to be awake, requires you to be looking. And I was so tired. For so many years, I was just so tired. I retired in 2002. I was 59 years old. The company gave me a watch, which I still have somewhere in a drawer, and some people said nice things in a conference room with a grocery store cake. And then I drove home, and I did not know what to do with myself. Ruth was still working then. She was a secretary at an elementary school. She did that for years, and she loved it. She'd come home talking about the kids, talking about the teachers, talking about some drama in the staff room that I half listened to. And I'd be sitting in the house that I had spent 34 years away from all day. And now that I was in it, I realized I didn't know it very well. I'd walk through the room sometimes and think, Ruth made this. Ruth picked this out. Ruth hung that picture. Ruth arranged this. And it was a good house. A warm house. I just hadn't been watching it happen. We had about 12 years after I retired, before she got sick. And I want to be careful here, because I don't want to suggest those were 12 wasted years. They weren't. We traveled some. Spent a lot of time with Carol's kids. There were good dinners and some laughs and days I was glad to be alive in. But Ruth had been waiting for something from me for a long time by then. I could feel it. I couldn't name it at the time, but I could feel it. There was a question in how she looked at me sometimes. Not angry, just waiting. I didn't know how to give her what she was waiting for, partly because I still hadn't figured out what it was. I'll tell you when I started to understand. It was about a year after she passed. I was going through some things in the bedroom closet, trying to clear some space, and I found a box of letters. Not anything mysterious, just birthday cards mostly. Some letters from her mother who had died in the early 90s, a few things from old friends, and there was a letter near the bottom that she had written to me. It was undated. I don't know when she wrote it. The handwriting was steady, so I don't think it was during the illness. She hadn't sent it. She had just written it and kept it. I'm not going to say exactly what it said because some things belong to Ruth and me and no one else. But the general shape of it was this. She said she had loved me. She made that very clear. She said she didn't regret us, didn't regret the life. But she also said that for a very long time, she had felt like she was loving someone who was only partly in the room, and that she had eventually made peace with that, because she understood that was something in me, not something about her. But that making peace with it had cost her something she couldn't quite name. She said she hoped I was doing all right. That's how the letter ended. I hope you're doing all right, Harold. And I sat on the edge of the bed with that letter, and I thought, she wrote this knowing she might not send it. She worked out what she needed to say, and then she folded it up and put it in a box, because she had made peace with it. She had made peace with it. I couldn't find any peace in that room that day. I just sat there for a long time. I'm not telling this story to make anyone feel sorry for me. I want to say that plainly. I have had a life, a full, real, human life, with real love in it. I'm not asking anyone to grieve on my behalf. I'm telling it because I think there was a truth available to me much earlier. A truth that Ruth was trying, in her gentle way, to hand to me for years. And I kept not quite taking it. Not because I was cruel, but because I didn't know how to hold it. Because receiving something that tender required me to stop moving. And I had never learned to do that. And she waited. And she was patient, and she made her peace. And now I sit in this house and I can feel her patience all around me, and it is the most loving and the most heartbreaking thing I have ever felt. David came to visit me last Thanksgiving. Just him, flew in from Seattle, stayed for 4 days. And something was different about that visit. I don't know if it was the news about my heart, or just that we're both getting older, but something in him had softened a little. On the last night, we were sitting in the living room after dinner, no TV on, just the two of us. And we talked, really talked. For maybe 3 hours we just talked. He told me things about his childhood I hadn't known. Not terrible things, nothing like that. Just the small interior life of a boy that I had been too busy to ask about. He told me about being afraid of something in middle school and not telling anyone. He told me about a teacher who was unkind to him for a whole year and how he'd handled it alone. He told me about the first girl he loved and how it ended, and how he cried in his car where no one could see. And I sat there listening and thinking, this happened. All of this happened inside my son's life while I was in the same house, and I didn't know any of it. Not because he hid it from me, because I never asked. I think the truth I heard too late is something like this. Being present is not the same as being there. You can be in a room every night for 40 years and still be somewhere else entirely. And the people who love you, they feel that distance. They learn to live around. They stop knocking on the door because the door hasn't opened in a while. I was always providing, always working, always doing the next responsible thing. And I told myself that was the same as being there. It wasn't. And the hard part, the part that keeps me up some nights, is that I think I knew. Somewhere, in some quiet room inside myself, I think I knew. And I just kept passing that room without going in. I don't know why. I've thought about it for 6 years, and I still don't entirely know why. Maybe the glass factory. Maybe my father, who was a good man but a locked one. Maybe just fear. Fear that if I stopped and let it all the way in, something would come undone. Nothing would have come undone. I understand that now. If anything, something would have come together. Ruth would have been 80 this year. I caught myself the other morning thinking about what we might have done to celebrate. She always liked simple things. She wouldn't have wanted a party. She would have wanted a drive somewhere, maybe down to the lake, and a good dinner somewhere quiet. And she would have wanted me to reach across the table and hold her hand without her having to ask. That's it. That's all it would have taken. I could have done that 10,000 times. I'm going to wrap this up soon because I'm getting tired. And honestly, because I've said the main things. Carol is coming next weekend to stay for a few days. She'll cook for me. She'll fuss about whether I'm sleeping enough. She'll probably rearrange something in the kitchen, and I'll pretend to be annoyed. And I'm going to try to do something I'm not very good at. I'm going to try to let her see me. Really see me. Not the managed version of Harold, not the steady one, not the one who has it handled. Just the old man who sits by the window some mornings and misses his wife and is grateful for the light coming through the curtains, even if he's not sure what exactly he's grateful to. That's the version of me that I kept in that locked room for too long. I'd like to let him out a little before it's time. I still have Ruth's letter. I keep it in the drawer on my side of the bed. Sometimes I read it before I sleep. Not to punish myself, not anymore. I read it because it's the most honest thing anyone ever said to me, and because it was written with love, and because I think she would want me to finally hear it all the way. I'm trying to hear it all the way now. I don't know how much time that gives me, but I'm trying. If you've listened all the way to the end of this, I don't have anything to ask of you. I'm not selling anything. I'm just an old man with a camera his daughter set up for him. But if something in this sat with you, if some room inside your own life came to mind while I was talking, well, maybe just go knock on that door. That's all. That's really all. My name is Harold Eugene Marsh. I'm 83 years old. And this is my house. And it's quiet. And the light in the afternoon is still beautiful. Thank you for sitting with me a while.